Okay. So today felt like I needed to get on here. I'm always missing after a couple of days anyway. That's because I live my life to the fullest as best as I can. I try not to get too wrapped up into um YouTube and other like social media platforms or outlets. Excuse me. Sorry. Not to say, you guys aren't important or anything like that, but I understand that I am mandated by God to do certain things, and there is a certain order to do that. So, yeah. And like I said, I live my life. So, me making 12,000 YouTube videos, yes, that would look very good and it would be very entertaining. But for me, I'm going to say for me, I don't believe at that time, unless God has ordained me to do it, then I would do it. But I don't think that I will be receiving enough from God uh, to do that. Like, sometimes you have to just talk to God. And then not only that, the battles that you face, you're talking to God on your behalf, but not only on your behalf, of the people that I serve, the people, it just, like, I've just learned that it takes a lot. It takes a lot. To whom much is given, much is required. So some things have to be limited, and that includes where do I spend my time? Do I spend it on social media platforms more? Do I limit my social media time and do more outreach? And that is where my gifting is outreaching and dealing with the streets and all that. So and everybody has their gift. Some people are prophetic at seeing things and stuff like that, and they're able. God gives them the power. Uh, God gives them the power to go and the authority to do messages every day or three times a day and stuff like that. Some people are like that. There are some other people that are lying, but that either way, that has nothing to do with me. I'm saying for me in my house, I have to. Um, like I said, seek God, especially during this time because I talked about the elevation process and everything, but every time you come across something with an elevation and you're learning something new and you're going into another dimension, it is a new devil. So you have to be prepared, and that is the reason why I have this video today. So um, I told you guys about me coming into contact with the individual that was kind of hurting. I knew them from the academia setting and stuff like that. So as I go on, I start, I'm asking God, how do I direct myself? Because if this person is hurt, if they're dealing with hurt, how do I fit in this equation? Are they coming, like, who sent them? And where are they coming from? Are they coming from a place of darkness, where you're getting emotionally attached to someone based off of what you've been through, since the lady had been through a lot of hurts, well, the individual been through a lot of hurts, well, you guys already know she's a lady, um, is that the reason why, and she told me her hurts, is that the reason why I connected with her? Is that um, is it, and if so, is that connection godly or is it ungodly? It can go either way. Um, is it someone who is, trying to peep in and trying to find out more about me? More and more and more, I have been finding this, that some people don't care really about what you do and how you do it and what you do. They just want to know more about you, and they want to peep into your life and use it to attack you. I had that a lot when I was serving because people didn't know where I came from. I just came out of the blue almost. It was almost like I had all the qualifications that they were looking for, and I fell in their lap like that, and all of that fell in my lap. So a lot of people were when you're new and you have that, being young, I did not know what was going on. you have to have a lot of humility, but a lot of people will attack you. That's why you need humility, because some people feel threatened by it, Other people who've been through the process and they worked on themselves and got over it, they know the process. Some of those people were still like, because they knew the process. Some people knew the process and knew that this meant if I was doing this, elevation was coming later, like a David and Saul kind of moment, and that's a whole nother other story. But so yeah, so you have to find out where who sent you, like literally. That's what you have to do. Not only that, you have to guard your senses too, because this person could be just someone who needs to hear, and you're supposed to bless them with something that you're speaking or something that you're doing. However, they might have their walk, and their walk might hinder your walk. Like, I'll say this for instance, okay, so I have a person that I know, I won't say a friend anymore because I'm learning that it's different qualifications for me to call someone a friend. It's not always someone who is there, because someone can be there out of necessity. So you can have a friend that, say for instance, you don't do the club scene anymore, and you've made this vow, like, I don't want to do it's nothing attaching to it. It looks like it's good. You find someone, and then this is the habit. You find out that this person said that they're because when you go to the club, you find everybody. You find all types of people, and I don't even understand why they even tell you to. That was the biggest lie I was ever told. Go to the club to go find. Do not go to the club to find a man. Okay, you go to have a good time and hurry up and get out of there as soon as you can. As soon as you can, because it does not lead to productivity. I'll tell you that. Doesn't mean that you won't find someone successful. That doesn't mean that, but after a while they'll walk. Yeah, the more I've learned this, the more it's just like that, Most people who are in that scene, they stay stuck in that scene, or they have other issues that keep them pulling back to the scene that's kind of close. So if you know that that's something that hinders you and pulls you back, and you don't want to go there, why do you stay affiliated with someone who is into going to the clubs and into doing that? You know why? Because you feel like, okay, either you're strong enough or you're going to pull them out, or, and change them, not knowing that in reality they are changing you, and they're changing the destiny of your life. You have to be careful who and what is around you. So, and yeah. So why would you even want to go? So, yeah, that's my example, if you can get that. But, yeah. So I met this lady exercising. Oh, let me rewind it back. I'm sorry. I was going to go exercise, right? And I got myself ready. I went to go exercise. As I go there, I noticed that it was this car sitting outside. Like, this car has been sitting outside of my house for the last 2-3 days. And when I say like 2-3 days, I thought I was tripping, but I'm not, okay? And it is a great gray SUV, and it's an older lady. She's got to be like about maybe like 45, kind of 50-ish, but she looks like she's whacked out of her mind, but she has these like the scrubs, the blue scrub with the long sleeve white shirt, and she said that she worked for this hospital. Now, she didn't tell me this, but I'll tell you the later story, but I'm gonna talk about that. So, this person has been sitting there, everywhere. Every time I get in my car and I get up and leave for the morning to go to work, she's there. If I leave at night, she is there. And not only is she there, when I turn my car on and I leave, she's leaving too. Like if I sit in the car for 5 minutes, I've done this before. I sat in the car, turned for 5 minutes. I turned on the car because I just felt kind of eerie. I don't know why God had me to look at this woman, and I mean her hair was all straggly. It was like long, but it was like straggly, and it was like an Indian woman. So most Indian women have very nice, smooth, long hair. Unless they get kind of older, even then it's usually intact. Hers was not. And she just looks like she had a crazed look on her face. So as I am listening to the my audio tapes in the car, I see her looking dead at me like this was just crazy. So I get up, I'm like, man, what? It felt like she was piercing through me, like what the heck? And I just kept thinking like the blood of Jesus, like that's all I guess. I was just like the blood of Jesus, like at first I was laughing, but then after she kept staring, I was just like serious, like now that's kind of weird. So I turned on my car, drove outside of our parking lot, I got out my assigned space, went outside of our parking lot, and I went down the street. Now, I live on one of the main streets in the city. So, as I'm doing that, she's going down there. So, I'm like, okay, most people don't cross. Because I live in the center, it's like this city is very divided. As much as they want to say that it is all together, it is strategically divided, meaning that for the most part, you're going to see the Latin people stay on one side, the black people stay on one side, the white people stay on one side, and they're split up as poor whites, very dirt poor. Then you got the middle class, and then you got the millionaires that's out north, and that's the older millionaires like out northeast, and then northwest is like millionaires, some of them billionaires, but they're far out northwest, So that is how this thing is. So I'm not going north. I was going south because this time, and for my job, I have to go all over because, of course, mental illness hits everybody. Like I have literally, out of the 12 clients that I have right now on my caseload, 12 families, I literally have one family in each like area, like in each classification in each area. So that's like it doesn't. Yeah, mental illness does not discriminate. Period. But we as people do. But anywho, so I'm going down. Oh yeah, the Indians, they have like certain places too, but they're mostly in the black area, but they don't go past a certain. I'm telling you. This is how it is, okay? It's very few, and you have some of those adventures that go to different places. They go, I don't care where it's at, I'm going to go, and they go, and they stay, and they have a good time. Those, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying majority, meaning 87 to 92%, okay? So anyhow, as I'm driving, I'm going all the way down south, so I go like 12 blocks. Now, I'm deep. As I'm going, I'm like, okay, where is she going? Because the only close place out this way is like, I wasn't even by Walmart yet. I was by, I had just went past the downtown, I was down the downtown because they still call that the downtown area, but it's mostly like where the Hispanic area is, and they got a really good store. But anyhow, so I was like, where is she going? Because the Indian store, but I didn't want to discriminate. So I'm like, well, let me turn. So I turn, and I park at this house. Tell me why this lady parked at the house right behind me. So I'm like, am I going to get out? No. Because I was like, I don't have my gun, for one. And I don't know if I come out and she might have a gun. Like, I just don't know. So I waited, and then I turned around and went back to my house. She literally followed me there. So I was like, okay. Now, mind you, a week before, I had someone trying to open my car door. It's just weird, weird. So anywho, so that was the last one before this one. So I was going to the Y. I didn't think about it. It was the next, I want to say 2 days later. So this is the third day. So as I am going to the Y, I notice I see the car. I'm like, I don't even have time or the energy. I'm just gonna make sure my door is locked. I got a taser gun, and because I know if I was to, now not to say that she did look crazy. She was about the same. She wasn't the same height. She was about an inch or two smaller, shorter than me. But weight-wise, you could tell that we was around the same height, like the same class or whatever. So I was like, give or take 5 pounds, 5 to 7 pounds. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put myself in that area as to if she comes and attack me and I freaking hit her, because the first thing they're gonna do is try to like lock me up, and it just be her word over mine, and her looking all toe up, and I'm not going through that. But if she comes and attacks me and I use a taser to get her away, then I can call or get away, or get away, just get her far away from me. So anyhow, so I go to the Y. I noticed that she's not even a member at the Y, like not even a member, y'all. I don't know what was going on, but they was telling her in the back, like, well, you got to do this, and then they told her that she can come in for free to go look for the date. So as she's doing that, I'm like, what the heck? She catches up with me to the locker room, because I had to go to the locker room, because downtown they have the exclusive locker rooms upstairs. It's not like the other ones where it's all together, all that. So she's like trying to piggyback, so then I go downstairs. I'm like, okay, she's already in here. I'm going to go downstairs and go change and go for my Zumba class. Come out, this lady is just talking gibberish to me. When I say gibberish, I couldn't even explain it, y'all. I could not explain it. She was talking literally gibberish. And so I'm like, what? Luckily, in this locker room, it was like about 5 other people there. So they're looking like, is she okay? I was like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if she's having a mental breakdown or something, because some people can be let out and they're having a mental breakdown, or she could have been attacked and she's trying to, you see what I'm saying? So maybe I'm looking at it different ways, not, maybe she's not trying to stalk me or anything. Maybe she knew of me doing something or saw me doing something and said she needed help and reached out that way. So I'm like, okay, I can't really help her, so what do I do? So they're like, oh no, she's fine. After that, when they called the EMTs, she like snaps out of it, just out of the blue, y'all, like a normal person, like nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. And I promise y'all, I'm so glad that I was around people to witness it, because if I was by myself, nobody would have believed me seeing this crap. And I was like, how did she snap out of it? When they left, she started talking a little gibberish, and they was like, just stay away from her. I was like, exactly, like something is wrong. So anyhow, I'm going upstairs, because I don't want to stay too long. I'm like, I have a goal to get. Now, by now, I've missed like 15 minutes of Zumba. It wasn't even 25. I missed like 15 minutes of Zumba. So I'm getting there, and I'm like, and I don't stay too long, because I noticed that some of the Zumba moves that we have at this location has been changed to a lot of sutra and like yoga dances and stuff, like poses and stuff. It's weird. So I try to eliminate myself there and not, I'm not going to partake in it. But if you want to salsa dance, all that, I'm cool. Get the exercise in, cool. As I'm exercising, now usually I'm in the back. I don't go to the front, because it seems like every time I go to either way, if I'm dancing anywhere, it's usually people are crowding, like, it's kind of crowded. So I try to stay in the back, because a lot of people don't stay in the back. And then when they get excited, they move to the front, So I have enough space, do whatever I need to do, and I'm comfortable right there. So they have windows all around the exercise room, and it's around the track. As I'm exercising, I see this lady out the corner of my eye because they got mirrors in the front, so we can see, and then there's windows all around on the other like three walls, but it's kind of like a oval kind of circle thing, so it's not square. But the front part where the mirrors are is square because it's around the track. So as I look, I just look as I'm dancing, I see somebody like, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, and the hair's all, and everybody's like, what the? And it's the lady. The lady is standing there. She has on her scrubs, and her scrubs were kind of dirty. Like I told you, it was 3 days I saw her in these scrubs. So she's just standing there, like, and I'm like, what the heck? So I try to take my attention off of her because I don't want to give that energy to her. And I go and just do my thing. As I get finished, she was trying to talk to me again, and I'm like, okay, I can't really help you. And she said, it was weird, talking about seeing through the eyes or something. After that, I just let her go. I was like, you know what, God, watch over her, whatever she's dealing with, let her, help her with it, deliver her from it if she want to be delivered, and keep me safe. And I disappear off the track. Now, I talked to the fitness instructor, one of the fitness instructors there, not like talk, but we're like friends. We're very, well, I wouldn't even say friends. We're associates. We're really, really good. We like to talk about things. She used to be a former flight attendant too. So we talk about stuff like that and, whatever. So we were planning to go out the next day to go and eat. So this lady comes and she starts, while we're talking, she's looking at me like this, like with one eye, like limp like this. And she starts trying to talk in our conversation. It's me, her, and another fitness instructor, matter of fact. And she starts talking about the classes. And she's like, she wanted to join the class. Now, our class is open. So, and it literally says open, like all the classes, they let you know, are open, to the public. It's the why. So, as long as you are a member, it's open. Like, you don't have to have private sessions or anything like that. So she's describing that to her. I leave, and I'm like, okay, let me get up off this track. Something is making me antsy. Like, about her, I don't get it. So when I left, I went downstairs, I went and exercised, and then the lady went and looked like she was going into she started talking to them for like about 5 minutes, and then it looked like she was going into the locker room above, but she couldn't get in, and then she went downstairs. So I went around the track a couple of times. So I want to say like 10 minutes later, I come down, and I am done. I was like, I'm going to take a shower, but I look out the corner of my eye, I'm like, okay, it was 10 minutes. She left 10 minutes ago, not to force anyone out or anything like that, but if you're going to the locker room, you should have already been out. But she still had on her scrubs. It wasn't like she showered or anything. She didn't even have a coat. That's what really, weirded me out because I didn't understand it. When she left, she did not have a coat. And I was like, did she have a coat when she got out? When she came out of the car? I don't know. I was just trying to get away from her. But she did not have a coat. She said she told my friend that she worked at Parkview at DuPont, which is a hospital that is literally 30 minutes from downtown. And that's like without the extra traffic. Like it's out like northwest when we're central, and it's like, okay, there are more than enough locations. They actually have a DuPont Y that's called Parkview Y that has more facilities and it has more stuff than the one that's downtown. So why would you drive all the way out here to go this way? And I was like, well, maybe she lived this way. Even then, why did you have those scrubs on? Like, it wasn't adding up. But anywho, so I get in my car and I leave. I was just like, okay, I'm not even hesitating. I see something is going on. She gave me an ill vibe. I'm out of here. Not only did I leave, I didn't go straight home because I started noticing that as soon as I left, she left. And it was like we were down in, I want to say, one of the main streets by the library. So it's like a 4-lane a 4-lane um street. So I'm all the way in one corner. She hops from 2 lanes to get back in the corner. So now I'm in the front, it's a car in the middle, and it's her car. And I was like, how did she even get there? So I'm like, am I over exaggerating again? I'm always trying to think like maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I have the craziest instances that happen to me. It's weird. So I was like, just to be on the safe side, let me get up because I've already had this situation with this woman 2 days ago. Let me get up in the other lane and let me not drive home. Let me drive the opposite way. So instead of me going north, I went southwest. Yes, I went southwest, and I went to my friend's house. And sure enough, this woman followed me right there. So my friend gets out and was like, what are you following her for? What are you doing this? And she got up, and she looked kind of like this. And she was slow, just like this. Got in her car and left. Scared the bejesus out of me, but it started bringing scriptures to my mind and to my head, like, so, yeah, this was what made me think about this whole video. I was like, I need to put this up. Sometimes the enemy is going to come after you any way that you can. And when I say any way that they can, any way that he can, okay? You can be fasting, you can be praying, you can be breaking strongholds. Just understand, it's not going to stop him from doing what he does, and that's to come to kill, steal, and destroy. The enemy knew that I had a compassion for people, so that's why he usually sends people my way who are, that's what God does, send people your way who are afflicted, hurt, and things. The enemy does the same thing. You have to be mindful of that because that same gift, the enemy can try to turn it and pervert it to turn it into a weakness. If I had not had God inside of me and had these experiences happen to me before, I would have been trying to find out and figure out what was going on, and I could have been torn up or possessed or attacked, you know. So, yeah, be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. That was the thing that I learned from this, and it was like, or it could have been a lot of options a lot of things that would have occurred. Like I said, if I was by myself, and to say, for instance, she came and attacked me, and I was trying to protect myself, you know, I'm sure. I'm about 90% sure. Matter of fact, I would say 95% sure because I've seen the system. I've seen this system. I've seen how the people operate in this arena, in this area. That I probably would have spent, even though she was attacking me and following me, I would have spent the nights in jail and she would have been free. You know, so you have to use true discernment as to how you do things. You can be right as all get up, but if you don't do it God's way, it's going to give you a lot of setbacks. It's going to give you a lot of setbacks. Like the enemy, like I said, the enemy he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So he's not going to tell you, he's not going to come up and show you something that's bad because you're not going to automatically walk into something that is bad. You know, most people get tricked by trying to do something good. That's why you see all these people turning up to magic and stuff to try to heal the land and heal the world because they see so much bad stuff going around people who are claiming to be, you know, good and just, and they are truly not, and they don't understand it because they're not seasoned in the word and they don't understand the principles behind, you know, that God has laid out because they haven't read thoroughly. They've been listening to other people who look, seen, smell, who look like, you know, who look like a duck, but they barking like a dog, or they quack like a duck for 2 minutes, and then you hear they're barking like a dog. You know, a cat can sound like a dog for a minute. You know, look at those America's Funniest Videos. You know, so that's where we're in. There are a lot of people who do that. So you have to be discerning. You have to hold guard to that. But that was something that I needed to address and to talk about. Be careful and to know your weaknesses. Like God got me to know my weakness, and my weakness, I will tell you, one of them was dealing with the spirit of lust. And people think when you think about lust, you're thinking about sexual desires. Now, for me, that was part of it, but lust goes on so many different levels you wouldn't even explain it. Think about people who do materialistic, the people who want to be known as being helpers, the people who want to they're just attracted to shiny big things. They always got to have, the latest cars. They're just so attached to it, and that wanting to have people at your beck and call, or wanting people to look up to you all the time. That's a little bit of lust. There's a whole bunch of things that deal with the spirit of lust. Bad thoughts, unproductive thoughts. Yeah, lust of negativity. A lot of that stuff. Yeah. So lust doesn't start lust starts in the mind. It's not like it's not like just physical what people talk about. So, but anywho, yeah, God just started showing me that. So I had to share that because, for one, I've heard a couple of people talk about when someone is under demonic attack. And I hear about it, and I have my own testimony with that. Not only that, I hear a couple of people, not a lot, talk about how to protect yourself during these times, like when you come across it. But a lot of people don't. So that's why I felt like I needed to make this video, because it really, like, this could have went so many other ways. And there's actually some scriptures in the Bible that tell you how to deal with these situations. Like, you're supposed to be around people when you're dealing with people who are double-minded, when people who are manipulative, or people who are you're supposed to have witness, because it's supposed to protect you. I didn't even, the more and more I study, the more and more I see it unfold. You hear it, but you don't, it really takes a different shape when you actually have to apply it. So, that's what I had to do. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video, because I know someone else has or is going through it. And when you go through these processes and you feel like you're alone, that's the biggest lie that I ever had to deal with and go through, because it is not. It is not. You are not alone. It's just a lot of people are not talking about it, or the arena that you're in, a lot of them aren't talking about it because they're on the other end of it. They're on the other end of it, meaning that they are projecting it in your life, or they want it to come to pass anyway because they really don't, or they're just ignorant. Some people are just ignorant because they closed off that realm and they just live physically. But I will tell you this, we are not supposed to look at things from the physical aspect. That is the last result of what has happened spiritually. So, yeah. I'm going to get off of here, but I did want to let you know about that situation and to share my testimony. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.